Hi.
Hey, hi again.
And welcome back to my... Oh, wait, hold on, I got a hairband.
Welcome back to Bali.
We're in Bali.
We are in the sweet land of the sweets.
How's it been, Lucinda?
It's been hard.
It's been hard. We're having a bad day, guys.
Yeah, it's raining today.
Yeah. We had to move.
Villas, we've had no Wi-Fi.
There's been there's been bad traffic.
Yeah,
we haven't had
today's
the
been
best
good.
day. But we're here
In Bali.
with you, waiting for you guys to chat with you.
Waiting for our sweet life.
The highlight of my week is us being in our suite.
Yes.
Okay, this week we're talking about something crazy.
Top 5
Are we doing
travel
top 5?
blunders.
Oh.
I feel like we've got more than 5.
But, I mean, we're going to talk about top 5 moments. Well, I've got a moment to talk about when you weren't there.
That's fine.
And you've got some to talk about when I wasn't there?
Well,
don't tell me your blunders are only with me.
I can't think of any.
What about when you went on your road trip? I swear you said you had some mishaps.
Not really, you know.
Really? Maybe it's just me and you together.
Just like the taking long. Oh, we did have a blunder.
We had a lot of chaos
A blunder.
together.
We had a lot of blunders.
I think we should start with our blunder from the last time we were in Bali, because we're in Bali.
What was the Bali blunder?
When I couldn't get on the plane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That should have been filmed because that was so dramatic.
So
I feel like time was just like ticking in my head as well. I was like...
So basically, last time we came to Bali, we decided... Do you know what I think also is our main problem before I even start the story? I think the reason we have so many problems is because when we go somewhere, we want to do way too many things. And we always don't just go somewhere. Like, we could have come to Bali and just gone to Bali for the month.
Yeah.
But we couldn't just come to Bali for the month.
When you're in Asia, you have to see the whole
Yeah.
of Asia, basically.
So we came to Bali and we were like, cool, we're going to go to Vietnam for a week. And we kind of organised this really epic week in Vietnam, which would have been so sick if we'd got to go, because we were going to stay at the Four Seasons. Like, we had all these collabs lined up. It was going to be so fun. And also, neither of us have been to Vietnam.
Yeah.
So it was like very, very exciting times. What I didn't know at the time was that in order to travel, you need to have 2 empty pages in your passport at all times, which I didn't know this at the time. And...
My stomach went... So I was like, whoa.
And you also, for Vietnam, specifically need to have 2 empty pages in your passport, which is so ridiculous because the stamp is like my fingernail.
Guess who had empty pages in their passport?
Guess
Me.
who did not have pages in her passport? Me. Yeah. So I had 1 empty page. I had I had quite a few half pages, maybe like 3 or 4 half pages. And then the rest of my passport was full. And then they were like... When I got to the airport, so we got to the airport, we packed, we planned this trip, whatever.
We were sharing a suitcase,
yeah.
which made everything even worse.
Because we were like, we're only going for a week, let's not bring all our luggage, we'll leave our... Where were we leaving? Oh, we left...
In the hotel.
We were leaving at one of the hotels we stayed at, and we were sharing one luggage to make things cheaper. Get to the airport, get to the desk, we're like, okay, cool, checking in. So the girl takes our passports.
First we were even overweight, so it was that whole thing of like moving.
Yeah, we were overweight, so we had to reorganize and move things around.
As per.
We were always overpacked, like it's actually crazy. And then I give her my passport, give her your passport. She's doing some chitty chatting. She does some, and then like it's taking ages, but we're not really clocking like it's taking ages. And then she goes, "Ma'am, I cannot let you get on the plane." I said, "What?"
And it took so long because she was like checking with this person, checking with that person, WhatsApping this, that, and the rest. We were just standing there for the longest time.
And she wasn't explaining
like half an hour
anything.
at least.
And then she was like, okay, let me talk to my supervisor, but like basically your passport page, you don't have 2 empty pages, so you can't get on the plane. So then she's like doing all these phone calls. She was even like calling the embassy, I think.
Yeah.
And like seeing if she could allow me to get on the plane.
She was really trying.
She was trying so hard, bless her. And then it was literally just like, look, you can't go to Vietnam. So then I turned to Helena, and then they're like to her, so you need to go through now. And
yeah,
then,
and I had about half an hour before.
no, but
the
then
plane
we
was
were
about to take
debating.
off.
Then we start debating, and I'm like, you need to go, and
Well,
you're
yeah,
like, no.
and also there was like half an hour to basically make this decision, and they were like, you need to decide like now, like what you're doing. And I was like, I didn't expect to go there on my own. I think it would have been fine if I was just traveling there on my own, but I was like, the suitcase now is packed for both of us. Like, what? Should I leave? Like, am I going to feel like... I felt really bad to just be like, bye. Like,
yeah, and I felt really bad because I felt like if she didn't go, then I was like fucking everything up. She's going to lose all this money. And like, we never got that money back.
We had the cruise booked.
We had a
yeah,
cruise
what happened to
booked.
that?
They just aired me. might call them when I go back to London.
A
Anyway.
year later.
Yeah, we had a cruise. We had this cruise of Halong Bay on this beautiful boat booked, which was non-refundable. We had, most of the hotels gave us back our money, so we were kind of fine there. But then we lost money on like the flights and stuff. So I was like, you just need to go. So I was like, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go. Then she's like, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know if I want to go.
We were like crying.
Then I start crying because I'm just like, you need to go on this plane. I don't know if I want to go. I was like, oh, I'm scared. And I'm like, you're strong. You can do this.
Legit with like 20 minutes to spare.
These times we both travelled solo so many times, but we're like shooketh to leave each other.
And we had to like then unzip the suitcase, take everything out.
Yeah, took
then
all my
they had
stuff
to like
out.
they had to take me through rush. I basically lost everything in the process. Lost my hard drive.
Oh, yeah.
I think, did I lose a hat? I lost something else.
lost
I
something
can't
else.
remember. I lost all these things. Rushed on the plane. And then I just remember as soon as I got on the plane, the doors closed and we were going. And I remember like just on the taxi, I was just like, I'm going to Vietnam. I was on the road, sat on my own. The plane was like empty. And I was just like, and it was like a 5-hour flight or 4 hours flight. So I was like, I'm literally going to Vietnam. I was like, fuck.
And then I like left basically. So after I had like waved, I was like, go, bye. I go now, I sit down, call my mum. I'm like, they won't let me on the plane.
Nah, I was, and I didn't eat. I had no snacks and there was no food on that plane. I had no Vietnam money because it was
Yeah.
only, so I didn't have water. I didn't have anything.
We were fucked.
That was
fucked up
insane.
that one.
And then we literally touched down in Vietnam, and I was just there with my suitcases.
And I was basically there via Skype. Like you were like FaceTiming me and like telling me everything. I'm like, what are you doing today? And you're like, I'm going to eat at this lady's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
then I was like
basically
on Train Street, and you were like, fuck that.
And I'm just like in Bali going to the gym and shit. And then I ended up getting all these collabs in Bali because I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna have to have a good time on my own.
It could have been. It could have been worse. You could
Oh
have been at home
yeah,
in
I mean, I could have been
London.
stranded somewhere worse.
I mean, I had a nice time. Obviously, like, you're doing it on your own. It's not that great. But, like, it was still... I still, like, went to eat at a lot of places. I did the cruise on my own. I remember I was in the kayak on my own.
Oh my god, yeah, she was sending me videos of her in her kayak on her own.
Everyone was, like, all together. And I was just, like...
And you didn't have a tripod because I had the tripod.
Yeah.
So then you couldn't take photos of yourself. You were, like, making a makeshift tripod.
Yeah, I was doing makeshift tripods. And for my camera as well, I was trying to take photos. I was doing makeshift
You got
tripods.
really nice content, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I could have asked someone. It was hard. I'm not going to lie. It was actually hard to do it. Because I didn't have anything. Did I even have a gimbal back in them days? I can't remember.
And the main thing about it also was that I had pretty much I had organised the whole trip.
Yeah, that was another reason why I was
So-
scared. Because I didn't really know much.
Yeah, I had organised everywhere we were staying. I had organised the
Yeah.
cruise. I had organised pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was kind of like...
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what I'm even doing.
And it's still really sad because I still haven't been to Vietnam. Please, Vietnam Tourism Board, if you hear this, invite me.
It was nice. I had a nice time. I definitely had to see other parts of it. But like even in Hanoi, like I just basically did all my foodie stuff, didn't I? I went around, ate, got coffee. Like it was a nice place to be. It was cute. Yeah, sadly we were split up. And then remember when I came back to Bali, we were like,
Oh my god, yeah. She like I was in the we were like reunited. Like we hadn't been together for like days.
I was only there for like 4 days.
You were there for like 4 days, and it was like the longest 4 days ever.
Yeah, that was.
And then you're like, I
jokes.
got you this Vietnamese chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Like
off my trip, bringing you souvenirs. That's jokes.
oh, sad times.
And on that
man.
boat, I literally had no Wi-Fi. So everyone, like, Ty was like having a breakdown. She was like, I need to Vietnam on her own. Like, she was like, it's
I don't
okay,
know
it's
why.
okay.
And then she was like, oh, should I get on a plane to you? And I'm thinking,
Who?
to remember Ty was like, maybe I should come to Vietnam to help you.
No.
Or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure
She
she said
never
that.
would
And then we
have.
were just like, Ty is coming to
Yeah.
save you.
She was messaging Johnny like, I don't know what's happening. I was like,
It was fine, man.
It was fine. I mean, the boat, also, the time that I went, it was so cloudy. Like, it wasn't, because even doing that cruise, the cruise ship was so nice, but, like, I didn't really get the most of it. They had, like, this slide and whatever, but it was so cloudy. And even one morning, we did some excursion, it was raining. So I didn't really, like, get the most out of it.
I think we need to go back in the summertime.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get to have
yeah.
some Vietnam summer.
Yeah, it was also, I think, raining when I was there, so it wasn't the best time of year to go. I can be the tour guide when we get back. Okay, next blunder.
Next blunder.
Blunder number 2.
Blunder number 2. I think that's definitely number 1 of the blunders, though.
No, like top, like as in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or
That
1,
was
2, 3,
1.
5.
We're doing 1, 2, 3, or 5. Because what's worse than that blunder?
Sicily was a blunder in itself.
Sicily was a bad time, man.
Sicily was, okay, I think, yeah, probably Sicily was probably number 2.
Because the thing is, it's like, so like we've been to Italy so many times. Like we've had so many good experiences in Italy. We love Italy. At one point we were going to Italy every summer. And then Sicily happened and we've not got back. So like we booked this Sicily trip really last minute.
It was expensive.
It was super expensive, but I think because no, it wasn't the flights. It was the hotel.
Like £200.
No, it was the hotel.
But the flights were like £200.
Were they?
Yeah.
Why didn't we just stop there?
I don't know.
We were like, if the flights are so expensive, why don't we just say, nah, we go somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know. We were just like Sicily.
And also like, so around the time we did this, we booked the flight and then my best friend died. So then I was a mess. So I don't even know where I was going to Sicily. I was like, I can't lose all this money, so I'm still gonna go on this trip. But I was like emotionally a wreck.
Yeah.
And then we go there. It was like, it wasn't COVID anymore, but it was like still COVID times.
Did we have a cockroach in our room there? Was something?
We did on the first day.
Yeah.
You got it. You trapped it.
Where were we again?
Sicily, Paloma.
It was kind of dirty.
Is it Paloma? Is that how you call it?
Palermo. Palermo town was pretty nice.
It was
like
right.
The little fruit things.
Yeah, we had a nice little fruit stand. I think so. The first issue was when we got the accommodation was like next to none. So we're trying to book accommodation and we couldn't get anywhere to stay because we were so last minute that everyone was booked up.
And all the locals were there.
And all the locals were there on holiday. So we were like struggling to find somewhere to stay. And everywhere we did find to stay was like crazy expensive.
It was so expensive.
Then my friend wanted to join us. Well, ex-friend now. Wanted to join us. And, well, I mean, we don't speak since, so we're not friends anymore.
And everybody kept staring at us. That was like the first day. We were like, do we have nipple out? What's going on? Like,
I think at one point the stare got so bad that I literally went to someone and I said, what are you looking at?
Yeah, you did.
I was like, is there something on? Like, I was literally like so confused. Like, I've been in places and you get stared at, but like it was wild. I think for a solid 10 minutes, everywhere we were going, everyone was staring at us. Bear in mind that I'm blind, so I barely notice when people look at me, but even I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, there was every single road we walked down, there was just people staring. We were so confused. We were like, what is happening? We also moved around so much on that trip. I think we literally stayed in like one place and moved to another place and then moved to a place up the road. I remember we were in some weirdo place. Or was that not our house? Maybe that wasn't our house. Maybe that was your friend's house.
She stayed in the weirdo house.
Yeah, that was like, why was I going there? Then I was like, maybe she stayed there.
Yeah.
The food,
awful.
It was bad. We had arguments with waiters, which was bad because like everything just kept going wrong. We rented a car. The roads were like this small. I was like trying to get through the roads.
We did have a good sing-along, Do-Rag Diaries.
Oh, the Do-Rag Diaries. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, on the road trip. But driving there was like really hard because everyone was driving crazy.
Yeah, everyone was driving like crazy and like they were like trying to run you off the road. I don't think on this trip like there's one significant thing that happened. It's just the overall experience of being in Sicily was not good.
The blunders were blundering.
Like it was just not. I don't even know if it was a blunder.
Even
it was
after
just a
you
bad
left,
time.
we had bad blunders because they were like basically being racist on the ferry, and I was like, I'm not gonna stand for this.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, get me home at this point.
And also remember, I almost couldn't get on my flight. So like you guys,
COVID
so
thing.
they dropped me to the airport, and I hadn't been vaccinated. None of us had to have a vaccine, but like obviously back then you could take a test before you got on your flight. So they were like, okay, all you need to do is get your test. So I got my test to get to the airport now, and then so basically they were like, you get your test at the airport.
Oh yeah.
But then they said to me, oh, you can't take a test here because you are not vaccinated, and only vaccinated people can take a test here, which makes no sense in ever. And then they were like, okay, so you can't come in. So I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? My flight comes in an hour. I have a funeral tomorrow. I had my friend's funeral the next day, so I had to get home on that flight. Whereas you were staying because
I had two other days.
You had 2 more days because you didn't need to be back. So you stayed. So then I'm calling you, crying, like, they won't let me get my test, and I don't know what to do.
We had to
and I
drive
can't get
back
home.
to pick
so
you
then
up.
Helena's like, right, go back. So she's like, racing back to the airport. Then this taxi guy...
We didn't even make it in time back to you.
No, you didn't. Then this taxi guy comes up to me and is like, what's wrong? And you know what? This taxi guy, even though he charged me €50 for this whole thing.
To go like 5 minutes up the road.
But however, he saved my entire life. So I'm like very grateful to him.
Yeah.
He saw me crying, came over and was like, what's wrong? And I was like, they're saying I can't take a test here. So then he goes over, starts speaking Italian, blah, blah, blah. I come back and said, okay, cool. You can't get a test here, but I know where you can get a test. And then at first I'm like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, I know where I can, I promise you, I can take you get this test now and we'll come back, we'll make your flight. I'm like, cool. Get in his car with my bags. My guy is racing on the motorway. calling the fucking pharmacy.
Oh yeah, because they were gonna close.
Yeah,
at like
the pharmacy
6
was
or
about to
something.
close in 5 minutes, and he's like, like saying whatever he wants to say in Italian. And then we get there, he takes me into the place, and like they literally do my test there and then give me the results. I get back in the taxi, drives me back. He's like, €50. I'm like, okay, give him the €50, and he's like, have a safe flight. And I literally got home.
I also ended up at that same pharmacy.
Getting your test.
But you know what happened to me that day as well? That old man, like, basically felt me up that day. Remember the old man? So basically, I was on my own because you'd gone, and then your friend had gone. I dropped her to the airport, and my flight was like a few hours later. So I went to this random town, which was like 10 minutes away from the airport, to go and get my test. And then ended up, when I was waiting for the results, I was in this like random cafe and like went to get like coffee or an ice cream or something. I was sat outside, and this old man came over and like started talking to me, and then I think he was like sat kind of like near me or on my table or something and telling me about his book. And he was like local to this town.
Was he Italian?
Yeah, he wrote a book and like blah blah, and he was like, it looked at least like 70 maybe even 80. Anyway, he then bought the ice cream for me, or I'd already ordered it, so he was like, yeah, like talking to the guy, I was like, yeah, like I'll pay for this, it's fine, whatever. And I was just like,
Sugar daddy.
I mean, yeah, maybe. He sent me the Amazon link to his book. I was like, okay. And then when I was like, okay, I have to go now, he hugged me and basically like grabbed my bum almost. And I was just like, I'm in this random town. I don't know.
No
yeah,
way.
I was just like, oh no.
That's crazy.
I know. So Sicily was not a good time. I think he also kissed me on the cheek, and I was just like, I need to get out of here. This is not good.
Not good.
So it was a bunch of weirdness in Sicily, to be honest. The place that we stayed at, though, that was like near the sea, that was really nice.
That was nice. That apartment.
Yeah.
That cost like £2,000.
It was nice, but it was so expensive. It was like
and
tiny.
And I had to sleep basically on the sofa. So I gave up my bed.
Because
I was trying to be nice. I was like, oh yeah, you can stay in the bed of Helena, and I'll just sleep on the sofa bed, which was massively uncomfortable because we couldn't get. That's what they had given us.
Yeah.
And it said 2 beds, and we thought it was 2 real beds, but it wasn't. So I was like, fine, I'll let you sleep there. Breaking my back.
Do you remember the day we drove to the rocks, thinking that we were going to get some great content?
We drove over an hour to these rock formation
They
things.
didn't allow us to go there. It was like
that
all
looked
closed.
so nice on Instagram. Do you know what Sicily is? It's an Instagram versus
But
reality.
we never
Nothing
really
is good there.
But we went to Sicily pre-Instagram blow up because I feel like over the past 2 years, Sicily's really been on Instagram. Before that, I never really saw it.
Now I see things in Italy. I'm like, where was this?
Yeah.
Where was this? Because we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And it was just the places that we did see on Instagram, we went to, and they were not good. It was either like a 2-hour wait to get on that beach because it's limited spots. The rock formation thing, you can't actually
couldn't go
access the
there,
part where
yeah.
the pictures are good. Like no drones allowed. All this stuff.
Do you remember the first day we also went to that beach as well? And there was all those guys, like, there was the guys there. We were drinking the Aperols. That was a good day, actually, the first day. We got on the train.
No, I don't remember.
We got on the train to this beach. We were drinking Aperols on the beach. Remember when we were doing that trend where you jump?
Oh, that was a good day.
Yeah,
that was a good day.
they started off strong.
Yeah, that was a good day.
And then it went downhill.
And the food on the whole in Sicily is just not like, obviously each part of Italy has like its own regional food.
It's a lot of anchovies.
And I just think all the food there just wasn't for us. And I thought I liked arancini. No, I don't.
Yeah, the food was very weird. I don't think I had one thing that I was like, this was really nice.
We were malnourished the whole time.
A friend of mine, she went to Sicily and lived there for like a month or 2, and she also had the worst time.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, Claire's like, it was bad. And we always talk about like how we had separate experiences, but it was bad. We both had a bad time.
Okay, well, that's number 2 for you.
Blunder number 2. Blunder number 3.
I think it's about time for a little snacky snack.
A little sweet day, treat day.
Sweet day, treat day.
Sweet life, treat
life. We'll make up a name eventually.
Okay. So the sweet treat of the day.
Yeah.
You've had it before.
Oh.
You have. But we had it last year.
Is it dang?
It is the dang.
Oh, I thought you got mama cookies.
No, I got the dang.
Oh, dang cookies are good.
I should have got mama.
Damn good. They're dang good.
They're dang good.
Dang good, these cookies.
And the packaging is so cute. What does this say? Goodness, each whole bite, dang. Mm-hmm.
Wait, so what's in this?
Anyway, so we love dang. So dang cookies in Bali. Life-changing.
What's in this bag?
I don't know, but I just got one of each. So our
Did you get the fudge?
Yeah, so we got chocolate chunk, we got a fudge, we got a Nutella,
This
we got
one
a
is the peanut butter.
These cookies, we had them when we came here last year, then we had them the other day, and they were good last year, now they're like 10 times better.
That's your one. I've never had the chocolate chip one.
This is the cookies, guys. Chocolate chip, Nutella. This is the other one.
What's that?
This is Nutella. That's the chocolate fudge.
I'm gonna have chocolate fudge.
I'm gonna try the Nutella one. Oh, you almost lost it.
I'm so sorry. Put it down there. Okay.
And then this is the peanut butter one.
Yeah.
But these cookies, let's do a cookie cheers. You kind of taste like a Leon, the one from Leon.
I wish that I could just like take these home and freeze them.
Oh, it tastes like Leon cookie.
You want to taste mine?
Mm-hmm. These cookies, like, they don't look that great, so I didn't really expect them to be that good, but...
Oh.
How's that a Leon one? C is for cookie, it's good enough for me.
Okay, give me one of your blunders on your own, or you don't have any.
I don't know. I can't think of any blunders that I've had.
Okay, I've got a blunder. I mean, I don't know if this would classify as a blunder. It's a wild story. So I went to Croatia in one of those periods of lockdown when you were allowed to like leave the country. So I went to Croatia with 3 of my friends. 2 of them were a couple, and then my friend Clay. So I can say their names. Me and my friend Clay, and then my friend Cassie, aka Bella Worldwide, check her out, and my friend Jovan, who at the time were a couple. They're not anymore. So the 4 of us all traveling together, and I don't know why we had this idea. I think because it was COVID, and we thought that at that time it kind of felt like staying in a hotel was very dangerous. So we got a van. So we did van life, and I got this van gifted from a brand called Indie Campers, and they gave us this free van, and we were like going to drive all around Croatia. And the van was actually kind of fine, except for, there were a few things I didn't love, but like the van was fine. Like we drove around, we got to explore, like we had a really good time. So then at one point we drove to Hvar. So Hvar is like a little island. You can get a ferry basically from the main part of Croatia there. So it's not that difficult to get to. And then we drove there from another part, parked up, whatever. And then we were going about our day. Me and Clay decided that we wanted to go paddleboarding. So we went off and went paddleboarding, and Jovan and Cass decided they wanted to get mopeds. So they're off driving these mopeds, we're on the paddleboards. We all agreed that we were going to meet where the paddleboards are at like 5 p.m, let's say. So 5 p.m. comes, me and Clay have like done our paddleboarding, we're just chilling at the beach waiting. We're like, where are they? Like they haven't turned up. 6 o'clock comes, still not turned up. Sunset's done now, we don't know where they are. So we're like messaging them, they're not replying, whatever. Finally, Jovan calls us, he goes, we're in the hospital, Cass fell off her her bike, taking a corner. So we're like, okay, that's really bad. So we leave now, the hospital's like, because it was a little island, they only had like a medical center, and everything was close to each other. So we walked to this like medical center. We get there, her whole lip is busted open, and she's like scratched the skin off like the side of her arm and her leg, but nothing's broken. So we're sitting in this like a medical center, and they're saying, however, they think she might have a concussion, and they think she needs to go to the main hospital. So in order to do that, she needs to get on a boat.
Oh my god, that's so long.
So like then they're saying for the boat €300 to drive her to the hospital.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So then we happened to that day when we were doing the paddleboarding, had met this guy who owned a boat. So me and Clay, so we were like, we're just going to call our friend, because we had actually been speaking to him, and he was meant to take us out at sunset on this boat, but because she had the accident, he didn't take us. So we call him and we're like, by any chance, could you take our friend to Split? I think it was Split, to go to the hospital because she fell off her ped. He's like, cool, no problem. €100. Just for that, and he's like, mainly just for like the gas, because boat gas is expensive. We're like, cool, no problem. So we tell the hospital we don't need their boat. They start going crazy. They call the police. Yeah, they start going mad. They basically, I think that they were going to get money off this boat guy that they were charging €300 for, and they were pissed that they were losing out on this money. So they started going mad, shouting at us, saying all these things. They had at the time Cassie's driving license as ID. They're like, we're not giving you back your ID. We're not giving you back your ID.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Next thing you know, the police show up. Then the police start saying to Cassie she's gonna get arrested because she damaged the road when she fell.
No way.
These times, Cassie's fucked. She's got bust up lip, bust up arm, bust up leg, might have a concussion. Her bike has not one scratch. The road has not one scratch. But they're like, you basically have broken the law because you've damaged the road.
That's stupid.
And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how is she? We were trying to understand what they were saying, but like the English was really bad. Then I went on live, Instagram live. I was like, fuck this, I'm going on Instagram live because back then everyone was on Instagram.
Way.
I was like, I'm going on live because this is scary. I don't know what's going on. Like blah blah blah. So we're on live now. Thousands of people are coming on because they're thinking we're like getting like kidnapped in Croatia, and then they basically eventually said, okay, you can go. Because then, no, even there's one point where I'm recording, the police guy comes, grabs my phone off me, and then, he doesn't realize the live's still going. So the live's still going, and everyone on the live's like, oh my God, he's assaulting her, blah, blah, blah. These times he just snatched my phone. And then he's like, you can't record the police, that's a felony. No, it's not a felony.
In Europe, though, it's like the doors are different. I feel like Slov's like very similar.
Really?
They'd probably be like that too.
Really? They were like, you can't record. So I'm like, cool, I've turned off my recording. These times I've left the live, so I've just turned the phone over like this and left the live running. Then we leave now, and then Cass and her boyfriend get on the boat, and they go to the hospital. Me and Clay have to go back to the van. Neither me and Clay can drive. So we can't move the van.
Oh my God. You could have driven it out.
No. It was a van. Not like a Sprinter. It was a Sprinter. It was a big van. Like, imagine your Amazon driver rolling up. That's the kind of van. I can just about drive a car in automatic, and you want me to drive a van.
But that's the kind of the size of the bus we had for the road trip. It was
bigger than that. It was bigger than that.
I feel like you could.
No, it was bigger than that. It was like an Amazon van, like a DPD delivery van. Imagine. I was like, there's no way I can drive this. Clay also can't drive, so we're fucked. So we're like, cool, they had to come back the next day. So we're like, cool, we're going to spend the night here. They'll come back, and then we'll take the van on the ferry back. And then we're in the night. So me and Clay get in the van. It's the nighttime. We go to sleep. Why did the police can't find us? They're like shining the lights in the window. I swear to God, I lay like this. Like, I didn't move 1 inch. Because I don't know what they're coming to say to me.
Yeah.
So then and then they start tapping on the door, They were looking for us through the window. They couldn't see us. So we just stayed still. Then they start knocking on the door. We don't answer. And then they left. And then we literally, like, the next day got up. We went down to the town, chilled in the town. And then when they got back, we just left straight away.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Crazy, no?
Because these European police, like, they don't take anything.
I was so shocked. I was like, they're gonna come and beat us up.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna put us in jail.
Boat jail. Not boat jail.
So that's like one of my top, not blunders, but like wild times.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. That is kind of wild.
Okay, next story.
The next blunder.
You have one?
I don't know. Maybe the bugs, the worms in the hot springs.
Oh yeah.
That was a bit of a blunder because nobody told me that you're not supposed to put your hair in hot springs because of like the mercury or what is it?
Well, apparently it's not actually good for your hair either.
Yeah, it's not. Really, it dries it out.
It's full of sulfate.
So there's me being Little Mermaid.
So we were in this like hot spring in Italy. Saturna.
Tuscany water.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Saturna hot springs.
The
really nice like blue ones.
We arrived there super early.
Thinking that it was going to be empty, 7 a.m. full. Absolutely full. Sun's just gone up, full. Anyway, we want to take cute photos. So we were like, let's get in. Me, my full swimsuit.
Yeah, I was flying the drone, so Helena had to be the model. So I was like, okay, you float and I'll do the drone. These times we didn't even use these photos because there were so many people.
I edited everyone out.
Did you?
Yeah.
There were so many people in the hot spring that we were like, oh, this is shit, man.
It was so many.
Like, as in like so many, and there was a lot of like old men.
Oh yeah.
And they were very starey.
Sulfur.
And we were in like a piece of string bikinis.
Yeah, and I was in a full-on swimsuit. And then after when we got out, they stank. Remember, it stank as well.
It smelled like eggs. Sulfur smells like eggs, guys. So just be aware of that if
then
you're
after
hot spring.
We got out, there was all these like red worms. And I was like, what is this? Turns out they'd come from the actual water and they were literally inside my swimsuit.
I had to literally sit and like go through your hair.
Yeah, my hair.
And like pick out all the little red bugs from her hair.
Oh, it was so gross.
Yeah.
And then the joke is, after that day, we were then driving for about 12 hours.
So we didn't even have anywhere to shower
or anything.
So we were just
until we
doing
got
up
to
eggy wawa in the car.
Yeah,
it stank.
was gross.
Of like the sulfur water.
That was gross. I think another blunder on that trip was also the car driving in Positano, because I swear to God, I was about to go crazy. I couldn't survive. I was like, I'm done with driving this car. I can't drive this car anymore.
Oh my God, do you remember? So we're in Positano. We're trying to find parking. Can't find parking.
For like
Don't know where
2
we're going.
hours
2 hours driving up and down trying to find parking. This guy then who fancied me was like asking me to be his wife. Some Italian guy was like, oh, I can give you parking. We got out of the car.
I was like, sure.
Gave him the key.
I don't care.
And he took the car. And then in hindsight, like 2 hours later, we were laying on the beach and we were like, did we just give away our rental car to some stranger?
We almost had an argument because I was like, we don't have the insurance. You're like, we don't have the insurance. And I was like, no. I was like, I didn't get the insurance. You were like, why did you leave the car with this guy? I was like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care anymore. Get me out this stupid car.
Yeah, and I was just like, I think we should go back. And you were like, nah, we'll be fine. And I was like, I think we should go back.
He parked it at his garage or something.
He had like a private garage, but you paid to park in there.
Yeah.
But didn't he give it to us for like really cheap?
Yeah, he did.
Because he was like, you be my wife, I park your car.
I mean, it could have turned out way worse.
I mean, yeah, the car could have never came back.
But that driving in Positano, like, I was ready to give it all up.
Yeah, you were done for.
It was a lot.
And I was just sitting in the car like, I don't know what to do, man.
It was all those like hilly back and forth. I was like, this is not fun for hours doing this driving. I feel like a lot of the blunders come from driving.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them. It's either like car rental issues.
Oh my God.
Like,
do you remember we were driving in Italy and then you were like, I think the petrol's a bit low.
Oh, that was
driving.
blunder.
Oh, the petrol's getting really low. You're like, where's the petrol station? I'm on Google. There's one like 20 minutes away. Oh, you missed it. Oh, you missed your exit. Why is our tank on nothing?
Yeah, literally nothing. And we did find there was one like 5-10 minutes away. That
but remember we found that little old guy, and then we were like, okay,
we had no money.
Fill up the tank, and then we like card, and he's like, no card, and then we're like, oh, we have no cash.
No, he didn't fill it. Remember we were scrambling.
Yeah,
for cash,
and then we gave him like
€3,
and then he really nicely gave us like
Extra.
enough petrol to basically get to the petrol station.
We were like €3,
and he was like.
That was crazy. If we'd have broken down,
that was definitely a
wouldn't know what to do.
We would have been screwed.
Never broken down though.
Yeah.
Like touch
made
wood,
it.
because the car rentals sometimes, even in LA, remember that was another car rental blunder when we weren't allowed to get the car rental because we didn't have a flight out. We didn't have a flight out of LA, so they were like, no car rental for you.
Why didn't we have a flight out of LA?
We were going home from New York.
Oh, yeah.
So we were waiting. I think somebody was booking our flight or something was happening.
I think a brand was booking our flight to New York.
So we were just like there, and they were like, no car rental for you. Then you were standing on the roadside.
I was standing on the road with like 4 bags, and it was like
for like an
hot,
hour.
and I was like,
and I was marching up and down that strip trying to find anyone who could give us a car rental, and it was so far.
And then we finally got an Uber. I remember the Uber guy came,
and then
because I asked him, "Do you want help with the bags?" He was like, "I don't take you."
Yeah,
and I was literally like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "I can't take you now." And I was like, "He's like, find someone else."
And we were so tired that day. Remember, there was a rooftop. We literally got there and went straight to sleep. That was definitely a blunder. A blunder. How many blunders is that? 4 blunders.
This is probably more blunders than 5 at this point. But what I think we need to talk about, a big one, the New York blunder, when you left your camera.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I mean, yeah, I was drunk. So at the time, it wasn't that much of a big deal. Until it was a big deal.
So Helena has a Sony A7 III, which, if anyone knows anything about cameras, the body alone is about $1 to $2 grand at the time.
It's like know why I had that with me going to a bar.
So yeah, we were going to this rooftop bar. You were like, I want to take my camera because I want to take all these photos, right? So I was like, cool, whatever. She takes her camera. We get there. We meet my friend Nigel.
Not your friend, Nigel.
We meet our friend Nigel. Sorry.
Oh, Nigel, please confirm.
He's actually her friend that she gave to me. So we meet our friend Nigel, and we get drunk. We got drunk from the roof.
It was early as well because it was sunset.
Yeah.
So like we were there from like 6-7 o'clock and drinking cocktails.
And we were drunk.
Yeah.
So we leave the rooftop and we go to Artichoke Pizza because the pizza is sensational and it's open all night. So we're eating pizza. We're having
a nice time.
Having an absolute laugh.
Did we even have shots there as well? Probably. There for like another hour. Don't get back to our hotel until at least like 1, 2 a.m.
Maybe 1 or 2 a.m. it is by this point.
Getting out the taxi, I'm thinking, I'm feeling real light. Like hours later.
And bear in mind that at this point, up to this point, the mood was high. Like we were in a good place. We were laughing.
Sunset was nice.
Having a great time. Mood's good. We're in a good place.
Met that guy in the toilet, my friend.
Oh yeah, made friends with the toilet man, who was lovely.
Yeah, literally. And then I was like, I think I had a camera with me earlier.
I'm like, yeah, you did. Where
Lo
is
and
it?
behold, it was in the rooftop bar.
Camera's gone.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we should, and I was still acting a bit like
So she was still a bit drunk and not really deep in what she'd done.
Yeah, I was like, we'll just go back tomorrow and get it.
And I'm like, no. If we go back tomorrow, there's no camera. We're going now. So then we call a taxi or Uber, whatever. We're getting in the Uber.
I think we called the place before we even called the taxi.
No, I think we were on the phone on the taxi. So we're on the phone on the taxi now, and then Helena calls the taxi people. You're calling. You're on the phone to them, and what did the lady say?
She was like, "Oh, we're closed now, so we're not gonna be able to check this for you. Like, we have to." We'll have to check tomorrow, blah, blah, call us back then, or blah, like, just basically trying to fob me off pretty much.
So then I take the phone from Helena because she's drunk, and I'm like, excuse me, look, I know for a fact we left this camera here. We need it back tonight. We're not going to wait till tomorrow. So can you let me know, like, what is in the lost and found? She then says, I can't leave reception, so there's nothing I can do for you. And I'm like, well, you need to look and see if the camera's there. It's really expensive. It's important. Puts the phone down. I was drunk and I was like,
that shifted
not today, Satan.
That moved the needle because really
Massively.
before that we were both kind of we were like,
yeah.
no
I
rudeness.
call her back and I'm like, hi, you just put the phone down on me.
Yeah.
Let me let you know this.
And it was her and the security guard there.
I was like, your job tonight might be receptionist and his job tonight might be security. But my job tonight is going to be getting that camera back. So when I get there, that camera better be waiting for me.
I was like,
and I was like, you better find this camera. And I was like, I don't care if you can't move from that desk. You better find someone that can. And then they said, okay, put the phone down. We rolled up to the door. Before I could even say who I was, the camera was back in my hands because I wasn't playing.
That was crazy. I think I just wasn't with it. I was just
She was still on cloud drunk.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, you were still on the drunk cloud, but the do sewed me up real quick.
It did.
Because I think also I just knew in that moment, like if we didn't get that camera back that night, we were never seeing that camera again. And I think I had content on there that I wanted.
Yeah, I think you must have.
I think there was photos on there. I was like, I need this camera back.
I was like, I got insurance, man.
I was like, we need this camera back today.
Yeah, that was bad.
But we got it back.
That was a bad blunder.
That we got it back. I mean, I think that's about 7 blunders at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I forget stuff all the time everywhere.
do.
It's kind of annoying. Luckily, it's not expensive stuff most of the time. But that hard drive saga as well, when I left the hard drive, that was super annoying. But I need to stop forgetting things. Or not.
Maybe you
bringing
just
out.
need more air tags.
I have multiple.
More though.
Just in everything.
So I've got an air tag in my camera cube, one in my drone bag. So like anything that's like worth money, there's an air tag in
where it
So I
is.
know if it moves, I get alarmed. So maybe you need that for like everything.
Everything, yeah.
Maybe even your brain.
I mean, I do have an air tag on my car keys, house keys, everything.
Yeah, like essential thing, but maybe just like for travel, one in each suitcase, one in your like camera bag, all that stuff. Laptop, you need one for your laptop.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I should be forgetting stuff.
Maybe put one in your monos.
I mean, there's been a lot of blunders as I've been reading.
Yeah, I mean, we had one more, but we don't have time for it because we're running out of time.
What was that one?
We were going to talk about when you got rejected from Drea's. Well, I got rejected from Drea's.
I'm now banned. I'm on the banned list.
On the banned list. Well, we'll talk about that another time, guys.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably have more blunders to discuss.
Yeah, we'll just maybe this is another part 2.
Yeah.
We have lots of part
I could talk about our US road trip because even though we didn't have blunders per se, the length of time was a blunder in itself. and our Miami Verbo was a blunder.
Oh,
that was a big blunder.
You should have talked about that.
That was an awful blunder.
Have we ever had any Airbnb blunders between us?
Probably.
Did I even tell you about the time? Oh no, I think I talked about this in the Bali episode when I got I rocked up to the villa and there was people in the bed.
Yeah, in the bed. Yeah, I mean we have, but not like that bad.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We've had catfish Airbnbs always.
Oh, that catfish Airbnb. But last time, remember the hotel, and then there was the Russians next door, and they were playing music till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, guys, this has been another episode
of Our Sweet Life.
We
the Blunder edition.
We hope you enjoyed our sweet. We'll see you next week. Bye.